dictators in his free time. So
Yeah. We've got time for basketball.
yeah, we got time for basketball, and you got to save a nation. Anyways, he is 27, so he's not. Who am I thinking of that came from UConn that would be that old playing in the NBA right now?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 27, that's fine, and he's still pretty dominant when he's, fully healthy and has some people that he can actually pass to. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna get it for just IT or just a first, and I don't know where the Brooklyn pick is right now. They're not the worst team in the league.
Close to it.
They're like
Slightly better than the Knicks.
They're eighth worst or something, and the Knicks are like 10th worst now in the league. So unless if it was a number one pick, then yeah, but I don't think you're gonna get it for that little.
No, maybe not. I'm also not a big fan of Kemba, so I don't think I would want to bring Kemba to the Cavaliers. I don't want him on the Knicks. Honestly, that might sound stupid, but I'm not a fan of him and his attitude, and supposedly he's had a lot of problems with the ownership in Charlotte.
Well,
So-
I mean, Jordan's not known as a very nice, reasonable guy, so I don't know if that's his fault.
I mean, the ceiling is the roof.
Right.
Right.
True words have never been spoken. Horny did give a statement on Jared Jack being the starter. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it boils down to him saying that Frank isn't ready to start at the moment, but coaches are always evaluating the possibility of putting him in that starting role. He thinks he says that Frank is learning from Jarrett, hopefully, learning what not to do, but that's just me.
Nice.
What about Trey Burke?
I don't think he's proven enough in my mind. I don't know. I'm not sure what you've seen from him that makes
Scoring.
you think he should be a starter.
Well, okay, so if
he's the third stringer.
If this
and
were
you want him to start.
If this were a normal team, I wouldn't want him to start. But normal teams don't have old ass Jarrett Jack as their starter. Frank Ntilikina is clearly not ready. Trey Burke has worked really well with KP, and he's worked really well with Michael Beasley. So he's worked well in both lineups.
Yeah, but usually he's against the backup point guard or the third stringer. He's not usually against the starting point guard.
Yeah, Porzingis wide open right there.
Yeah, I just think that Trey Burke is a better option than Jarrett Jack. Frank Ntilikina is super raw. That you want to make sure.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'd want to put in Frank over pretty much anyone else, and just give Jack that third stringer minutes and let Frank and Burke battle it out.
I mean,
see who's better.
I'm kind of pissed off that Ron Baker got hurt.
Yeah,
because he'd have been a nice piece to trade.
Yeah, he's got shoulder surgery tomorrow, and he's going to be done for the season. 4 to 6 month recovery. So yeah, it's going to be tough to trade him for someone else that's not injured. Knicks have heard like a dozen calls for about Willie Hernangomez. So it seems teams are still pretty interested in him, despite what's happened so far with him this season. That was a nice move by Jack. Credit where it's due.
He was like 8 feet ahead of the defender when he got the ball, and was behind the defender when he scored. That's the problem with Jarrett Jack.
Anybody could do that.
I could do that. So going on the idea of the Knicks trades, I actually just earlier today, before this show happened, or before this show tipped off, I guess, to use the basketball terminology, I realized I think there must be a trade or something in progress for Kyle O'Quinn.
I definitely think the Knicks have to do something before the deadline.
Buckets!
Just to show that, there is a plan, really, at this point.
The reason I say that is because before the Knicks pregame and before the show before that, they did a special on Kyle O'Quinn. And then a different show about Kyle O'Quinn. And then tonight's Knicks Spotlight was about Kyle O'Quinn. Why are they showing those three things about Kyle O'Quinn?
I mean, I think that's why he was getting a lot of minutes too, and he's on an expiring contract, so better to get something for him. I think a package deal with him and Lee could net a pretty nice return, and whether that's like a first round pick, low first round pick. I don't think you're going to get a high pick for that, or another piece that can help on the wing, young, because I don't think we're going to be able to keep him this season.
Kyle O'Quinn.
He's going to get a pretty good contract. I would love to see him go to a contender. Love to see him get a ring. Big fan of the guy. I just don't think he fits in with our current cap and player situation that we got going on.
Which sucks because of all the Knicks, I'm the most convinced that he loves being a Knick. Like, that was his hometown team.
Yeah.
Like, if it came down to keep him or keep Willie Hernan-Gomez, I'd rather keep him, partially because of that. Willie Hernan-Gomez, he'll be happy to be anywhere if he gets to play. Mm-hmm. Kyle O'Quinn loves being a Knick. It's like his dream.
Yeah.
So, for that reason, I would prefer to keep O'Quinn. Mm-hmm. I also believe that Enes Kanter likes being a Knick. I think Doug McDermott likes being a Knick. But we can get rid of McDermott. He's cooled down.
Yeah.
Send him. He just can't go back to the Thunder until June.
Yeah. Cavs apparently have reached out to the Jazz about trading for Ricky Rubio.
Why?
They feel they need an offensive point guard. That
the Knicks should reach out for Ricky Rubio. The Knicks should have got Ricky Rubio last year.
They probably should have. I wouldn't mind Ricky Rubio. He's a defensive liability, but on offense he gets the job done, and I think him and KP are close, and that's always good. He could, I think, be a good mentor for Ntilikina, really help him on the offensive side of things, and they're both coming from Euroball, so he could kind of show him better ways to adjust to the team.
I don't want to burst your bubble on Ntilikina, but I listen to a lot of ESPN radio, and multiple people on the shows that I listen to have said that if the Knicks are willing to move on from Ntilikina, then they might have a pretty good chance at getting John Wall.
I don't really see it. Also,
apparently he's a really crappy teammate, and the people in Washington hate him.
Yeah, which is shocking because last year everyone was saying how awesome he was as a teammate. I don't know what.
Well, the fight with J.J. Barea, really brought that out. If you don't know what happened with J.J. Barea, him and John Wall got into a little bit of a spat during a game where John Wall called J.J. Barea a midget. Barea's only 4 inches shorter, so he's not a midget.
No.
So
by any means.
Yeah, no, we'll stop calling the people who are 6 feet tall midgets now. Thank you, sincerely, every person under 6 feet tall. And the response that J.J. Barea had to being called a midget was, well, at least my teammates and fans don't hate me. So, it's been put out there that the teammates of John Wall hate John Wall. And to make things even worse, Bradley Beal was talking after the most recent win, which without John Wall, the Wizards are now 5-0. Mm-hmm. Saying that it's refreshing playing with guys you enjoy playing with.
Who said that?
Bradley Beal.
I don't know. I think it's
Obviously
kinda
indicating
crazy.
John Wall.
I think it's kind of crazy to say that they're better without him. I get that they're having success.
It's not that they're better without him because they're better players. It's chemistry. They're a better team when he's not on the court, is what they're saying. They work better together.
I don't know. I think when he's there, they expect him to do everything and don't really, play up to what they could. And now that he's out, they, know that if they mess up, it's on them, not on him. So they're playing a little harder.
Do you remember Hey Arnold?
Yes.
Not really, but
Okay.
Give the ball to Tucker.
Give the ball to Tucker. Exactly. Hey Arnold joins a basketball team, and the one rule from the coach is give the ball to Tucker. What happens when you get
Pass
the ball?
to Tucker.
Yep. So you grab the ball here, you take it here, and pass the ball to Tucker, and he'll score the basket. Like, he was the coach's son, but he was the one that was good at basketball.
Yep. Not well.
Give
Yes
the
and no.
Yeah, he was the best player on the team. Give the ball to Tucker.
Give that ball, Tucker.
That's what it made me think of when you said that. But also, does that not remind you of Carmelo Anthony? He doesn't play defense. He is the guy who wants the ball in his hand as time's expiring. That's a skinny Melo.
I mean, he wasn't playing 100% the whole season. That's been obvious with the knee issue.
Yeah.
And he still was averaging almost 20 points and 10 assists a game. So,
I'm not saying he is mellow.
Being mellow.
I'm saying, is that not mellow-ish?
I mean, besides him, the only person that can,
Bradley Beal.
yeah, that can get through the defense and create some mismatches is Beal.
And Marcin Gortat. He's good down low.
Yeah, but he gets, he's always pretty much fed passes. So it's
He's
kinda,
available too. Should the Knicks get Gortat? They already have enough centers.
Yeah, I don't think the Knicks should get anybody unless they're trading like two of them away. Honestly,
So buy one center, get one free sale.
yeah, and these wins have come against. Let's see, the Hawks, worst team in the NBA.
Beat the Knicks.
OKC, who was on a 4-game losing streak,
The Knicks beat them.
and 1-4 since Andre Robertson was lost for the season. The Raptors,
Good team.
a good team. For some reason, always bad against the Wizards.
Well, I mean, the Wizards are one of those rare teams like the Bucks that just match up really well against whoever
It's
they're
a
playing.
good block
Yeah.
by KP.
That was a beautiful
the
block.
Magic,
Back.
which is the second worst team in the league,
Beat the Knicks.
and the Indiana Pacers, who are missing Darren Collison and Victor Oladipo.
Who also beat the Knicks.
So it's not exactly
Among those teams, the
tough
Knicks,
competition that they beat other than
the
Portland.
Raptors.
Yeah, sorry.
Among
Portland. The other near Canada team. In
in Canada, Toronto. Among those 5 teams, the Knicks are 1-4. No, worse than that because they've lost to the Hawks twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's pathetic.
Well, I mean, the Wizards.
And the Bulls.
The Wizards were, a great team last season. They could have very well gone to the finals.
I was hoping they would.
So, even without their star point guard, they should be able to beat 4 out of 5 of those teams. And then, they happen to play very well against the Raptors, and they won that one. So that's the only one that's like, oh, okay. The other ones, I think, are a non-story. Nice pump fake by Courtney Lee.
That was. Almost took a knee to the face, though. Another trade rumor. Celtics looking to add George Hill.
That's interesting. I don't really like George Hill.
I prefer King of the Hill.
Propine.
and propane oxide.